Oke. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. So we are from group 2 with me Lailatul Sabila and my partners Hanifa Ramadhani, Sabrina Safa Kamila and also Friska Sanufiato. So today we are going to present our article entitled Computer Assisted Pronunciation Training, a Systematic Review. So let's take a look at introduction. Okay, Computer Assisted Pronunciation or CAPS, assist, Computer Assisted Pronunciation Training or CAPS has emerged as a promising tool for enhancing second language learners' pronunciation. The system provides rich pronunciation input so they can practice, the student can practice self-paced and also give them immediate feedback. In addition, many CAP systems are supported by technology such as automatic speech recognition, which can detect errors and provide personalized feedback. Because of this feature, previous studies have shown that CAPS is generally effective, especially for beginners and intermediate learners. It's also in als- as and also improving segmental features like vowels and also consonant. Despite evidence of effectiveness, there is still an important gap in the research. Most studies mainly focus on whether CAPS is effective, but they do not clearly explain how pronunciation is actually taught and assessed within this system. Moreover, there is also a pedagogy technology conflict where the design of CAP system does not always align with established principles of pronunciation teaching. So this creates a need for a more detailed and pedagogically informed analysis of CAPS research. Next, please. Based on this issue, the purpose of this study is to conduct a pedagogically informed systematic review of CAPS research. Specifically, the study aims to categorize and evaluate several important aspects, including the research methodology, the type of CAP system used, the pronunciation training practice, and the assessment methods. To achieve this study, sorry, in other words, the study tries to understand how CAPS is actually used in teaching pronunciation and how learners' progress is measured. To achieve this study, to achieve these goals, the study addresses 7 research questions. The first is, what are the most researched second language communities in CAP research? Second, what methodological design are employed? The third, what CAP systems are used? The fourth, what are the pedagogical scopes of pronunciation teaching? The fifth, how is pronunciation practice? The sixth, what are the pronunciation assessment practice? And the last, how is pronunciation learning measured? These questions help provide a clearer and more comprehensive understanding of CAP research from a pedagogical perspective. The next part will be presented by my partner, Hanifah. The time is yours.
The next one is inclusion and exclusion criteria. Okay, the author only included peer-reviewed journal articles published between 1998 and 2022. The studies had to use CAPT in an experimental design and measure learner pronunciation improvement. They focused on healthy second language learner, not those with speech or hearing impairment. After screening, 30 studies were selected. Next. Okay, the next one is search process. To find these studies, they search database like ERIC, ProQuest, Scopus, PubMed, plus the Call Journal. They use keywords such as computer-assisted pronunciation training, and The search was repeated for time between 2020 and 2022. Out of 256 publications, only 30 met all the criteria. Next. The one is data extraction. Finally, the author created a codebook to organize the information. This helped classify participants, the CAPT system used, and the assessment methods. For example, they note if the system was web-based or mobile and how pronunciation was tested, like through pre- and post-test or survey. This made it easier to compare the studies. Okay, next.
So now let's look at the data from these studies we reviewed. So first, regarding to the methodological characteristic. Most research, 20 out of 30, were done with university students, and most learners were young adults between 18 and 33 years old. Most of these learners were at the beginner or intermediate level, and on average, each study involved about 47 people and lasted for 7 weeks. Next, let's talk about this APT system. And research in this research, researchers use a mix of commercial apps and new prototypes, especially for research. And interestingly, about half of these systems utilize ASR, or automated speech recognition, to process learners' voice. Moving on to how the training and testing actually work. In terms of pronunciation training, the main priority for most studies was teaching vowels and consonant. The focus was heavily on speaking, and rather than just passive listening. Almost all systems provided real human voices as example for students to copy, which is more effective than computer-generated speech. And finally, the last one is about pronunciation assessment. The final test measured how well the students could speak after the training, and researchers specifically look at the small details like accuracy of their specific vowels, even though the training is computer assisted, the final scores is still most given by human listeners to ensure the accuracy. Okay.
The next slide is methodological trend in CAPT research. This section said that most CAPT studies focus on adult learners, especially those learning English. There are very few studies involving children or teenagers. Also, research on other languages is still very limited. Most studies use experimental design to measure results, but many do not clearly explain how participants are selected. This makes the result less general. Next slide. The nature of training system in CAPT research. In this part, we can see that researchers use both commercial and prototype system. Commercial systems are easy to use but often not designed for specific learners. Prototype systems are usually better because they focus on learners' needs. Some systems use ASR technology, which can give instant feedback, but it is not always accurate. Next slide. Pronunciation before that, before before pronunciation assessment in CAPT research. Most studies focus on teaching individual sound, also called segmental feature. However, other important aspects like stress and intonation are less studied. The main activity used is listen and repeat. This method helps, but it might not work in real-life situations. Also, the learning input is not very varied, and feedback from the system can sometimes be confusing. Next slide. The next slide again. Pronunciation assessment in CAPT research. For assessment, most studies focus on specific pronunciation accuracy using controlled tests. Only a few studies measure overall pronunciation quality, like how understandable someone is. Most evaluations are done by humans, not machine. Because of this, we still don't fully understand how well learners improve in real-life communication. Next slide. In conclusion, CAPT research mainly focuses on adult learners of English. The training mostly uses control practice and focus on sound. Assessment also focuses on small detail instead of overall speaking ability. In the future, research should include more diverse learners and better methods. For future research, studies should include learners of different age and levels. Researchers should also study more languages, not only English. Training should focus on real communication, not just repetition. Technology like ASR need to be improved, especially in giving accurate feedback. Finally, assessment should measure both detail accuracy and overall speaking ability.
Okay, that's all from us. May you everyone can take some lesson from us. Thank you and goodbye.